And so I'm just going to do a brief introduction of the situation that we are dealing with. A couple of researchers from Stanford University, including Amit Saru from the Stanford Graduate School of Business, is saying exactly what I have said on this show and in my YouTube channel and in my podcast for over a year now. And that is, the economy is going to worsen. Just because Wall Street is making billions of dollars every week doesn't mean that Main Street or you and I are doing okay. The problem is, and the news does it on purpose, they focus on, the NASDAQ did this, the NASDAQ did that, Tesla did this, so on and so forth, but it doesn't affect us positively. Many of us are suffering, and many of us, our situation is going to get worse. So what the researchers are saying is exactly, again, what I've been saying, and that is that many individuals have been, to a certain degree, hopeful that the government is going to continue to help them, that next stimulus payment is going to show up, and that's going to take care of things for a minute. But many individuals haven't been making their payments on their vehicles, on their mortgages, on student loans, because the federal government declared a national emergency as a result of COVID. The issue is, at some point very soon, the government is going to say, if you believe Joe Biden, Joe, more of the same. I just released that picture today because, again, he's a centrist. He's not going to rock the boat. He's not going to do more than the minimum. And we know that from the moment he was elected. But the point here is that because of that, right, the government says it's an emergency. Nobody has to make all these payments for now. The problem is, if you believe Joe Biden, in May, every adult in the United States should have access to the vaccine. That's the latest he said. If that's the case, June or July, the federal government can just say the emergency is no longer existent. The problem with that being that if there is no emergency, the banks can show up and say, hey, just a reminder, you're a year late on your payments. And based on the research, it says here, the average home loan mortgage is $3,200 as of last fall. The average car loan is $430, and the average student loan payment is $140. So for the sake of simple math, let's say that the individual has not been making payments on the mortgage for the last year. The bank can show up and say, hey, you owe us almost $40,000. We've been patient, and now you have 2 months to pay that money back. The issue here has been that while a lot of people have lost their jobs and have been in unemployment, some people continue to live their lives as if nothing has changed. They still throw these parties, they buy brand new cars, which I have said here, don't ever do. They are buying houses that are overpriced. This is absolutely the wrong time to purchase a home. Why? Because once these banks show up and you don't have the 40,000, what they're going to have to do is they're going to say, look, you have this time, or we legally can come and get the house, and you still are going to owe us that $500,000 home loan. As a result of that, what the homeowner is going to have to do is going to have to do a short sale on that home, which means they're going to offer the home at a lower price. And if there's a pile of homes available, the price is going to continue to go lower and lower and lower. And what's going to happen is then will be the perfect time for you to buy a house. Not now. That's the positive for the investor. The negative for the homeowner is that now they're going to be homeless and they're still going to owe the bank a pile of money. The exact same thing is going to happen with people who are buying brand new cars, who may end up losing their jobs and not have the money to make the payments. And the same thing is going to happen again for those people who owe those student loans. Based on the research, it says that by fall of last year, there were 50 million people, this is by October of last year, 50 million people had not kept up with their payments, and this amounted to over $43 billion. And by March of 2021, 60 million are late on their payments, and this amounts to at least $70 billion. And when you put all other payments, whether it is credit card payments and everything else, we are at a shortfall of about, or debt has increased by about $2 trillion at the moment. And that is a huge problem. And again, we don't have the time to get into all of the details, but I just wanted to make you aware that this is not the time to be buying a house. This is not the time to be buying a brand new car. This is the time that we take care of each other. We save as much as possible for 6 months for that emergency grant. We keep up with our payments as much as possible. Otherwise, by summer, we could be housing with individuals in the 12, 15, and 20 people in the household simply because we will not have the money. I will be hopefully updating my YouTube channel this weekend. And if so, I invite you. I will finally be putting the presentation there on investments for those individuals who can invest in the stock market. Again, for some people, these are going to be challenging times. For other people, these are going to be great times. And with that, I thank you for this.